Did anybody see the thing in the news recently about the reporter who was fired for referencing a Snoop Dogg lyric?
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that? Basically, Snoop Dogg says for shizzle, and then he says something else after that, which you cannot say now if you are a white person.
It rhymes with shizzle.
Yes. Can't say that. You're not allowed to say that anymore. And she got taken off air immediately. And Whoopi Goldberg basically said, like, look, it's really hard to keep up with this type of stuff when you get older. Once you reach of a certain age, I actually push back on that. I think of any age now, it's hard to keep up with it, even if you're young.
Wait, Whoopi Goldberg said something reasonable?
Fairly reasonable, yeah. I mean, here's the thing, though. Whoopi Goldberg is a gaffe machine who constantly says stuff that is out of pocket. And that's why she feels like a certain kinship with this person, because every other week she's being forced to apologize for something that she said. So yeah, you're not allowed to repeat Snoop Dogg lyrics, and it reminds me of just how fractured the culture is in that respect. Because this poor lady, she's like a 65-year-old Mima. She's like, she just looks like she would bake you cookies. And she said this line very clearly not knowing what the hell she was saying, and context doesn't matter in the culture anymore because people are so jaded and so divided. And so, yeah, it's kind of like horseshoe theory, right? Like you've made it all the way around to Whoopi Goldberg making a fairly reasonable point because she's on the opposite side of this, but she's a gaffe machine. So it says, on Monday's The View, Goldberg insisted that just because we're on television doesn't mean we know everything. Well, that is that is absolutely true, Whoopi. You absolutely do not know everything. And says, we don't know everything. You're not supposed to, she said earlier this week, taking a jab at the NBC affiliate's criticism of the bit. Bassett, so basically the idea here is, have you ever said anything on air where have you ever seen that video of the guy who says like the N-word while singing a song, and then you see his face like go wide because he knows his career's over. Like he knows his career's over. And I have that recurring fear, right? Like that something's going to slip, or you're going to say something, not necessarily of any one particular thing, but you're going to say something that's going to be taken out of context. You're going to say something wrong. And that's when you're on air 5 days a week, eventually you're going to slip up and screw something up, right? Like, what do you do?
With that attitude, you will.
Yeah.
No, you just don't apologize.
Yeah, I mean, but this lady's part of a machine though, like a network TV machine. She can't do anything about it.
Right.
Like she's pulled off. She can't do anything.
Well, it's funny because she is still using terminology from like back when it wasn't not okay to say that. Yeah. But you're keeping up with all this stuff every day. It's your job, so you're probably safer than her.
Well, no, I honestly, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have known that you couldn't say that because
you know what? Totally right. I'm wrong about that.
Would you have, like, if I had not just told you that you can't say that now, would you have known that that was not okay?
I wouldn't have. I only knew because we were supposed to do that topic yesterday, so I knew it.
Dude, it was like when
I wouldn't have known. I heard people quote Snoop Dogg saying that like in high school all the time.
I wonder if Martha Stewart gets a pass. I bet you Martha, because him and Martha Stewart are like buds.
Right.
So,
why?
Buds. Yeah. I know. Hollywood buds means like it's hilarious.
Special buds.
But yeah. So the other one I was thinking of is we talked about when both Beyonce and Lizzo got in trouble for saying spaz. You're not supposed to say spaz now.
Oh yeah.
I'm I'm saying spaz. Bite me. I'm not censoring myself for spaz.
Well, also every time that I have heard someone say that word, they don't say it like it's meant to be this horrific thing.
Yeah. Well, we're in a post-context era where people don't care about context anymore. Like, it doesn't matter what you meant as long as you said it, because all they care about is being able to get you in trouble. They don't actually care about the context.
Back to what I was saying about the people who sit around waiting to dogpile anyone on the internet.
You think? Okay, here's a question for you. Do you have advice for people who want to get away from like because you've faced criticism in the past, you've had to deal with a little bit of criticism. How do you handle it?
Just focus on real life.
Get off your phone.
Yeah, well, not even get off my phone, but just be aware that real life is not the internet.
Yeah. Like
sometimes I'll read some of it, but I don't take it too seriously. I know it's people who typically don't even know me, and the thing that I have spoken about is kind of a no-brainer. Like, I am a skateboarder, and I did skate contests where male athletes entered women's divisions. I spoke up about it. It blew up, was a big story. That's actually how I ended up here in the first place at Timcast. So I know I'm speaking up and I'm doing the right thing. And if you're saying something that is true to you and that you feel like needs to be done and you're in a position to do so, then you should do that. And you're going to get criticized and people are going to hate you no matter what you do. You can never please everyone. So do what feels right to you and the right people will love you for it, and focus on that.
You guys have to deal with anything similar? Obviously not the same level of criticism, but how do you handle criticism?
I'm very, very happily in the background of things.
Yeah.
And I like
but still, like you put out work gets critiqued.
I don't think I look at it.
You don't ever look at it?
No, like maybe like I'll if there's something, like if something's doing well, I'll look in to see how it's doing.
Yeah, you're like, okay, if people like it, I'm going to check now.
Well, no. If it's doing well, numbers, because it may be hate watching.
Oh,
you know?
okay, yeah.
Well, also, not all criticism is bad.
No, it's 100%
no.
really
That's what I'm saying.
helpful.
Critique is different than just empty criticism.
I guess I was talking more about like really hateful stuff, but like sometimes criticism is good and you can actually use it to be better.
I've told that somebody in the chat says I don't know what they're talking about, said speak your truth. There's an amazing line, by the way, just as an aside, in an episode of House where he says there is no your truth, there's just the truth. So he was about a decade early.
If I said your truth, if that blurted out, you guys know what I mean.
Carter, how do you deal with criticism?
I mean, I've been getting it all my life, so I've got a pretty thick skin. When I first started doing stuff that, thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people were seeing and commenting on, I wouldn't read the comments at all.
Yeah.
But then I started reading them, and it's like for every 10, good comments, there is one that's negative.
But
if it's criticism, I'll take it and think about it and try and do better. But if it's just I can separate the criticism from I'm just jealous because I want to be where you are, type thing.
Yeah, there are a lot of them negative. They're not negative. They're critiques that I'll be like, I agree. I wish I could have fixed that too, but
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.